Yo, man, what's up, y'all? We back live. It's one of those late night lives, but and before I even get started, man, I want to let y'all know that the glasses are prescription, so it's not like I'm not trying to be a cool kid or anything like that, right? But I just thought I'd go live real quick and give y'all some free game. As that's what I've been doing is I've been out and about. Just left a wonderful networking event, networking and an art event. And in the art event, one thing that I learned was to never let anyone tell you what you should charge for your product, right? So I'm gonna show you guys something real quick, right? Let's see. Let's turn on the sound. Right? All right, let me go show y'all something real quick. How do you flip the camera? Oh wow, it's hard to flip. I don't even know how to flip the camera on here.
This is a full 1500, and you got 900, right? Don't let nobody
tell you
what to charge for your product.
Well, yeah, it's cool, man. I guess TikTok won't let you flip the camera, but it's cool. But what I wanted to touch on today was that I just left this wonderful art exhibit, right? And in this art exhibit, there's a guy I ran into. He's selling his piece of art for $9,000. And that's something that I've never seen in person. Of course, you hear the stories of, people selling art for $1 million, selling art for a couple 100,000. But, it's the big arts like, the Mona Lisa, those type of deals, especially in the black community. But, I ran into this guy. He's selling one piece of art for $9,000. And that was something different. But it also taught me something. It's like, because all the times with me being in business myself and me owning a business, a lot of customers, when people tend to know you, they tend to always want to tell you what you should be charging for your product that you created, right? And I want to say this to all my business owners, everybody who has some type of product, whether it's an ebook, a service, smell good, or anything like that, it's definitely okay to not care what people are saying about your product. Whatever you price your product or whatever you feel that product is worth, that's what it's worth. Like, even like with my own colognes, body oils and stuff, I've had people, they always tend to say that I charge too much, and really I charge the bare minimum, right? But moving forward, the price will be going up. The price of a lot of my things will be going up because I understand the value that I carry, right? And when you feel that you carry a certain type of value, or you feel that you are worth a certain number, and when you know your worth, you have to stand on knowing your worth, right? So it can't be, of course you guys still get the discounts. Of course, the discounts, people getting discounts, that's cool. But it's always good to stand on knowing your worth. And if you price a product at $30,000 or you price a product at $3,000, stand on that. And, people who really want to buy it, they're going to buy it. Whether it costs $3,000, whether it costs $10,000. Just like people take the time out their day to save up their money, or take some of their tax money and save up to go buy a Birkin bag or a Louis bag or a Hermes bag type stuff. Same scenario, right? But the problem is that a lot of people are not going to go to those companies like Louis Vuitton or Gucci and tell them, hey, you guys are overcharging. Why? Because they've been in the game so long and they've stood on their price of what they're going to charge to the point to where they're not even going to want to have that conversation. But if, it's somebody, who's growing the business, starting from scratch, of course, then, they want to have that conversation. Which, in my opinion, is not fair. But life isn't fair. But I say that to say, make sure you guys are not taking offense to anybody who says, you need to change your product or product price, right? Another thing I wanted to touch on, right, is a brief topic that I'm actually going to bring onto my podcast, but it's a topic about being a man and also what entails being a man, and also being a man, being a man in certain areas, but not being a man in certain areas, right? So, I'm a big advocate of 19 Keys. 19 Keys is somebody that I look up to. If you don't know who he is, go look him up, right? But he's a thought leader on Instagram, right? And he makes some very interesting perspectives, right? So I want y'all to listen to this, right?
My life was that word manage.
Manage,
you understand
right?
What I mean? And what I realize is that every area that I'm not able to manage myself in my life, I'm a boy in, right? And so I broke it down.
Did y'all hear that? He said in every area that he's not able to manage yet, he's a boy in, right? Keep listening.
I say you got to be at that man age. That's when management in business terms is the ability to administer activities to get to set obligation and goals.
Yes.
So if I can't manage my hygiene, right, then I'm a boy in that area. But I can manage money, I'm a man in that area.
Right. So I want you guys to take heed to this, especially like a lot of my young men out here. A lot of young men, even my age, right? Or even older men, right? While a lot of people like to say all the time that, they want a real man, or men need to be a lot more realer. It's okay, and you can still be a man and not be a man in certain aspects. You could be a man in certain aspects. Like, what? You could be set financially, and you able to manage money really well. You a man in that field. But when it comes to being in a relationship, you're not able to manage that really well. So you're not a man when it comes to being in a relationship. And that's where, and basically what I took from that conversation is that in the areas that you're not able to manage, that's where you are a boy. That's where you're not a man. So whether you are 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old man, in certain areas, you're a boy. But in order to realize that type of thought in theory, you have to be willing to kill your ego, which is very hard for a lot of men to do, because a lot of men, they want to be the biggest, baddest person in the room, right? But when you kill your ego, you open yourself and you subject yourself to criticism, right? And you're willing to accept that, and you accept it so you can be better and take yourself to the next level, and you keep growing, right? So the more things that you decide that you want to take control of and start managing, that's when you start becoming a man in those fields. So say, this is the year where you want to take control of your money, and you start managing money like crazy. That's where you're a man in that field. Say, you are the perfect person the perfect person for somebody to be. You're able to handle and manage a relationship really well. You're a man in that field. But it's okay to not be a man in certain fields, There's always room for improvement, and there's always room for progress, right? And I want you guys to let you know, it's like, life is a time thing, What I might get at 22, you might get at 32. As long as you get it, though, right? So what I want you guys, everybody listening to this, in this particular episode, especially kind of, for my young men out there, man, it's okay. You guys are still grown men, right? But you're not grown in certain areas. And it's okay. And this is for all men. It's okay to not be grown in certain areas. But what matters is you actually take the time out to try to be able to manage all areas and aspects of life so you can be the ultimate man, right? So that's just a little food for thought. I hope you guys like this live. I'm kind of off here. Hopefully I'm going to upload this as a podcast, but y'all know the deal. Peace. Appreciate everybody who tuned in for sure, too. Just live on TikTok.